Hello, what's going on? We barely see our faces. All right, how's that? We're live. We're live. And as you can see, Jamie is here.
Hi, everyone.
She's going to take some questions. If this is your first time here, this is American English with this guy. I'm this guy. My name is Brent. The goal of this live stream is to help you improve your English. And special guest, Jamie. She adds a different perspective, a different look. She speaks a little more quickly than I do. She has the perspective of a mom. We saw a question from Amina that we want to answer pretty shortly, and it's about children in the United States leaving at 18. So we can take questions like that. Maybe I should let you introduce yourself if you'd like.
Oh.
Just for the people that don't know.
Hi, everyone. If you haven't met me before, I'm sometimes in the chat. I sometimes join the lives. I'm Jamie. I am Brent's wife.
It's been a little while. It's been a couple months, I think. So, yeah, the way this works is we take your questions for about an hour, and then I'm going to hop over to Bob the Canadian's channel. We also have Aroni in the chat. He has a YouTube channel. He teaches Italian. And Rod, the Brazilian English teacher, is here. I actually have an interview with him later this afternoon, so check his channel out. It's part two. Part one is available. So,
hi, everyone. I see everyone saying hi. Hello.
Eric is here. Yeah, so many people. Who did I talk to before? Maggie, Sam, Elena. Thank you all for joining. So, and I don't know if Amina is here, but Mahdi's here from Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much. We're a little close. We want to try to get, we'll try to get in here so you can see our faces. But let's talk about Amina's question first. At 18, the expectation is that children leave the house of their parents. And I know around the world, that is not the case. Often, children will raise their own families in a home next door, maybe even the same home. So did you want to talk a little bit about why the expectation is that students or children leave at 18?
Yes, sure. So I left home at 18. I couldn't wait. I had just turned 18 in March, and I was living in my dorm in August. So here in the United States, once you graduate high school, which is usually 17 or 18, 18 is a more common age when you graduate, 17 is a little on the younger side. You start your first year of college right after that. Most people that do go to college start when they finish high school and they go right after. Sometimes when you have that gap year or a few years, it's really hard to go back to college once you've started working. You may have started a family. You may have a really good job you don't want to leave. Or sometimes it's really hard to go to school and work at the same time. So your freshman year in college, most people in the United States start at the age of 18. And if you go away to college, you've moved out of your home. 18 here is considered a legal adult. I feel like that's a little young. It's in some cases. So yeah, that's why we leave home at 18. I wish it was different. We have a daughter that's almost 15, so we have a very short time left with her and my son, really. So before long, we're going to be empty nesters.
Yeah, that's a good term to talk about. Empty nest. Empty nest. That is what you call in English when we have had kids, but the kids have left. They do their own thing, and it's just the two parents again. Most likely the way they started their relationship. Just the two of us, you have some kids, they leave, the parents become empty nesters. And I want to be sure that people know most of the time at 18, they're not completely done with their parents. They can stay on our health insurance until they're 26, I think.
Yeah.
When we were like 23, it was 23. You had to be off your parents' health insurance. But they have raised that, the government has raised that. And oftentimes people are having children later in life. At one time in the United States, my parents' age, our parents' age, people might have been having children at 20 or even younger. We had our children starting at 30. Oftentimes, if kids go to college, they'll come back during the summers until they're maybe 23. But the idea for parents is we have given you the tools so that you can be independent and have your own life. That would be a good job for parents if their kids are ready to leave at 18. You don't, in the United States, if you are 40 or 30 and still living with your parents, that's a bad look. That's a bad look. And sometimes there's even a joke that people are living in their mom's basement. Like, that's not a good look. That's not a good look.
I mean, sometimes you'll see, for example, if we were to get a divorce and we couldn't find a place to live, sometimes people will go back and live with their parents for those certain situations. But if you've lived with your parents from birth until 30 and you've never lived on your own, that's kind of an issue here in the United States.
Yeah, and that does happen if the child, the adult child, is having trouble financially, like Jamie said, or after a divorce. It is natural for the child to move back in, to get back on their feet. That's a term sometimes we use to get back on their feet.
I saw Aroni's comment, Mama's boy.
Nice one.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be too much of a mama's boy. And I know Aroni is not, because I think he left at 18. I think he's still young. He's still young. If I were his dad, he could still be on my insurance, I think. He might have just turned 27. He's 26 or 27. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Ibrahim, who is here from Egypt.
Hi, Abraham.
I did see a question from Eric, and he was wondering, how are you handling the lockdown?
So I'm actually in quarantine again. I had just finished. I was only back to school for 2 days. The Tuesday before Thanksgiving, I was exposed, and then I found out. I didn't find out until a week later, just this past Monday. So I'm in quarantine again. I don't mind working from home. I do miss my students. I miss interacting with them. I mean, I only see them 2 days a week in person. But I do miss seeing my kids. But working at home and teaching remotely has been very easy for me and my students. We have a really good system down. I miss going out to eat. I miss, seeing friends or having friends over, or, just going places with friends. I have been getting a lot of walking done outside, and my son rollerblades at night, so we go out nightly and walk. So that's been really good. But I think we're handling it well. We like being at home.
I like being at home. I love being at home. And I know Jamie is more, we talk about introverts. I think I've said that in a video. I said it in my interview with Rod. Maybe I talk about that today, maybe. But I definitely like to stay home. And Jamie likes being out more, shopping, maybe. So I'm handling it really well.
We've actually probably saved a lot of money because I haven't been shopping as much. So.
Yeah, and Rod asks, are we psyched? Psyched is a word we use for excited or happy. And Rod is wondering, are we psyched to have the kids leave at 18?
I think that's kind of like a yes and a no question. I mean, obviously I want them to do well and be productive citizens and adults. I think our house will be, I actually was just thinking about this morning, my daughter was singing and I was in the bathroom, and you can hear her in the house when you sing, so it will be really quiet when she goes, and not to hear that. My son spends a lot of time with us. He hangs out with us a lot. My daughter, not so much. She's, in her own little world with her phone and her friends. So it will be quite different. I am not going to miss the laundry, the messes, or the food bill.
And I think it's tough for us to answer that question right now because they're not ready. You know, our daughter's 14, she's very mature, but I think when they reach 18, they'll be ready and we'll be ready to see them go, possibly. Amina, thanks so much for
thank
the
you, Amina.
super chat, I think it's called, or maybe the super sticker. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you very much. So nice. Rod said that he wouldn't like to see his children go. Yeah, I think Rod's children are younger than ours, so I think it all depends. Like, you can't even picture them leaving. But at this point, like I said, our daughter, I mean, she could live on her own now.
Oh, she totally could.
She cooks, she cleans, she can do her laundry, you know, and I can see in like 3 years, she's ready. She doesn't want to be under our roof anymore. And when somebody is living with you, you can say under your roof. We sometimes say that. Amina, again, thank you so much. Amina has been so supportive. She's a channel member. We talk quite a bit in the Discord Discord server, they call it. So if anybody would like to become a member, there is a link there. But Amina has been so nice, so nice. And a big thank you to all the members. Big thank you to all the subscribers. If you're not a subscriber,
big week this week, 3,000.
Yeah, thank you so much. The live stream was a little weird because everybody was thanking me and I didn't answer many questions. So we're gonna get to the questions today.
If we missed your question, just put it up again. I've been seeing a lot go by, so.
Sivaja, I hope I'm saying that correctly, but they found this channel from Bob the Canadian, like so many people have, so big thanks to Bob the Canadian. Sometimes he's in here, but I don't know if he's here. He's not here right now. He's not here right now. Renata, oh, that's a good question, Renata. Hello from Brazil. I was watching a video this morning from Brazil, from Rio. We need to get to the beach down there in Rio. Where was it? Copacabana? Copacabana. So Renata is wondering, hello from Brazil. Brent and Jamie, could you please explain the use of oomph? Thank you. Oomph. If somebody has oomph, or if they have a little oomph in their step.
We call it pep in your step.
Sometimes we will say that, pep, but if you're doing a job and your work is it's a little bit hard, but you give it a little oomph, that means you put a little more effort into it. You put a little more work into it. So maybe when you're sitting down to study English and you want to put a little oomph, maybe you study extra hard or you study extra long. Put a little oomph. Ah, yes. Angelo is mentioning Gino. Gino from Real Everyday English. He and I are doing a collab next week. If you remember, I'll put another plug in for members. You can see the videos that I did for him already and the video he did for me. But I'll say the topic. I'm doing the top 5 things I like about England. And that's where Gino is from, at Real American English. And he is doing the top 5 things he likes about the United States, which is where we're from. Oh, Sita. Sita says if we come to Rio, she's going to be... Oh, no, she said she's going to promise that. I think she said before she would give us a tour. Rio looks amazing.
Yeah. Brazil and Italy are probably the 2 most places I want to go the most.
We are going to get about a foot of snow today. A foot. Like that much. I would love to be in Brazil right now. Although Rod said it's pretty hot. Like
I would
really
take hot weather over what we're getting today. I hate snow.
Renata, you are welcome. And Sita said she will join us. Teresa from Krakow.
Hi, Teresa.
Nice. Poland, right? Krakow, Poland, very famous city. Uh-oh, the video is a little blurry. The video is a little blurry, I hear from Mega. Edgar says that we have a daughter. Yeah, we have 1 daughter and we have 1 son. 2 kids. That's it. That's it. Bob the Canadian has 5 kids. I don't know how he does it. I'm not sure.
I originally wanted 6 kids, but I'm glad we just had 2.
Oh, Elena, another member. I talk to her often in the Discord server. She's going to teach me Russian one day. Как дела, Elena. In Russian, she says something like 7 days in 1 week. So
7 Fridays.
Oh, sorry. 7 Fridays in 1 week. That's when you're really busy. You put a little oomph in it. Sometimes we say 8 days a week. That if we're working really hard, it feels like 8 days a week, an extra day.
Or we say today feels like a Monday, because Mondays are usually hard, the day after the weekend.
Angelo, he's a channel member, so we should definitely take his question. He is saying, define Brent in 1 word.
Yeah, boy.
That might be it. Boy.
That's a really hard question, but
And you don't have to.
yeah, no,
you
I
can
will.
pass.
I will.
You can
I will.
pass.
I will say loyal.
Loyal. That's very important for a spouse. You want them to be loyal. You want them to be there for you when you need them.
He's also a loyal friend, brother.
I try, yeah. There's so many people. I hope you have these people in your life that will drop everything for you. Drop everything. We have those people in our life. We can call somebody up. I know of at least 5 people. If we really needed help, middle of the night, hey, can you help us? They are there for us. So we try to do the same for them. Drop everything. Drop everything. That means no matter what you're doing, you just drop it and you're there. So one of those drop everything friends. Drop everything. They're there for you. Let's see. Oh, Adriana, another channel member from Poland, is wondering, can you describe something as shoddy?
Yeah, so the word shoddy means somebody did a poor job of doing something. For example, if you're having some work done to your home and somebody said they know they could do something, like repair something, and they really couldn't, so they did a shoddy job, like it really doesn't look good, it doesn't work well, you have to get somebody else to come in and fix the issues that they even created more. So something shoddy is just like not very well put together, poor, not great.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, you don't want to do shoddy work, and it can be pretty much anything. But schoolwork, yeah. Do you want to say the other term that I'll type it. I don't swear on the channel. It's a mild swear.
Oh, I say this to my son all the time, half-ass. He did a half-ass job of cleaning his toilet or his bathroom. He does things really, really quick because he wants to get his chores finished. So he does a half-ass job.
An ass is like a really, it sometimes isn't even a swear word. You can say it, it's a synonym, or it's the same word as a donkey. But, so shoddy and what Jamie said, same thing. You will hear both. And I know Adriana is a lawyer, and I know she never does shoddy work. Never does shoddy work. Oh, you heard? Elena said she heard my whisper. Oh no. Zoe is here. Welcome, Zoe.
So Beta, hi, how are you?
Oh geez, Rod is asking about our children. I don't know, we don't talk too much about the kids, do we? What traits do we see in ourselves in our children? So, Marty's wondering why we drink bottled water. Yeah, I mean, I almost brought you down to Dr. Pepper.
I had one on the way taking Ansley to work.
Okay, so Jamie loves Dr. Pepper. It's just, I worry that if we drink soda on camera, like Elena heard me whisper, like what other things are you going to hear, if I drink soda? But, and what, I'm doing a video on all of the bad things about winter. Because I see a lot of people in the chat who say they want to see snow, but there are some bad things about winter. I'm going to talk about cabin fever and seasonal depression and going stir crazy. But it also gets very dry in your house. When it's cold outside and you're running the heat, it's nice in here. We're never very cold inside. Sometimes we have disagreements about the temperature. I like it a little cooler. My body stays a little bit more warm, a little warmer, and Jamie tends to be cold. But it dries the air out. So some people will get bloody noses in the winter because it's so dry in their house. So we try to drink a lot of water.
So I am going to go back to Rod's question about the traits in our children.
I was hoping you'd forget.
No. So it's very interesting to watch your own children become adults or become young people. Our kids are both very smart. Brent is very, very smart. All three of them can like hear something and remember things that I mean, they can just listen to a podcast and they can remember all the facts. Ace is a lot like Brent. He listens to history podcast or history YouTube. They both like to watch Bald, which visits different countries. And
Bald and Bankrupt.
Yeah. Ansley's very musical, and as you can see, so is Brent. I did dance for a really long time. So I think some of us, both of them, I think, are really good dancers. Ace is very athletic. I think we're somewhat, or we're somewhat athletic when we were growing up. Ace is a lot like me. He likes to be on the go. He likes to go places. They're both very witty, and we're somewhat witty. So they're good kids. I mean, we're very, very lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah, we are.
Ace looks exactly like Brent. His mannerisms, when he says things.
Yeah, I don't think we'll never put the kids on camera, but yeah, they kind of look like us.
They don't look like me.
Ansley's starting to look a little bit like you. Elena is, thank you for becoming a channel member. Thank you for teaching me Russian one day. She's wondering, Brent and Jamie, how about the phrase to start from square one? Is that a common expression?
I think so.
Yeah, I do too.
So like we were talking about, so say if a couple gets a divorce and they've had a lot of debt or they had to split all their assets, you're kind of back to square one, kind of like when you were 18. You're probably in a smaller place. You're rebuilding your life in your new home. You may have lost your savings account. You're back at square one, and then you have to go to step 2, step 3. So yeah, it's back. Or if you're working on a project and you thought you had the outcome figured out, and you start working on it and you realize what you had planned out wasn't going to work, you're back to square one of thinking about the solution.
Let's go back to that word shoddy, where the work isn't really done well. And let's say Jamie and I had somebody come in and work on our sink. We actually had that this week. Mm-hmm. So our sink in the kitchen was broken. So somebody, one of our neighbors, one of our awesome neighbors, came in and did some work. Excuse me. But if it was shoddy and it was so bad that some of that work had to be undone, we would be back to square one. We would have to get somebody else over here. They would have to start from scratch, is another term we use. Start from scratch on that project. Start all over again. Start from square one. Start from scratch. Scratch.
C-R.
I'm not a good speller. Luckily, Jamie is. And in the video I have on Gino's channel, I do talk about making pancakes from scratch. So just to go with that scratch thing, it means from the very beginning. So in the United States, we have pancakes from a mix where all you add is water. But we also can make pancakes from scratch, where you're adding the flour and the sugar and the salt and the eggs and the butter. That's from scratch. And Angelo says, back to zero. Scooby Light is here. Welcome. Yeah, Elena, you're very welcome. Uh-oh. Sivaja. Hope I'm saying that right. I'm confused. What question do you want to raise here with excitement? But I'm interested to know about, who is using the instrument behind you? All right. Yeah, I do play the drums sometimes, but to be honest, I don't play as often as I used to because I've been studying Italian quite a bit. I've been making this YouTube channel and been learning a little Russian. Let me say a little Russian right now. Spasiba. Right? I think that means thank you. Меня зовут Brent. I don't know a lot of Russian.
Me llamo Jaime.
Spanish, right? Spanish.
That's what I learned in the 2 years I took it.
Mi chiama Brent. Whenever I talk to someone who is Italian, I think I've mentioned this before, they often will put a vowel at the end of my name. Brent. Instead of Brent. My name's Brent, but Brent. All right, more questions. Oh, Madi says, finally, an answer to my question. Yes.
I think, can you scroll up? I think
Yes.
he had a question that we didn't answer. Can you drink from the sink or is it not appropriate?
Okay.
We can drink from the sink. We have a container that we put the sink water in and it filters everything out. And it makes the water taste better. I know I will drink from the sink without filtering it, but my family does not. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know. And I was talking about this with students yesterday at school. Like our tap water, our city tap water. And if you go from city to city, the water tastes a little different because the city will put in, they will put in fluoride to help our teeth, fluoride, but they'll also put in other chemicals to clean the water, and that can leave a funny aftertaste. A funny aftertaste, it's exactly what it sounds like. When you taste something, it's the taste that stays in your mouth or the taste that lingers in your mouth. And if we don't filter the water, I think there's a funny taste for me at least, an aftertaste. Fluoride is good. Yes, Susanta says fluoride is good. Elena said something. Maybe Jamie's gonna learn it. Russian.
I really need to learn another language. I should.
Yes, fluoride. Fluoride really helps the teeth. All right, Rod is wondering a question. What's the difference between a regular guy and a normal guy? Are they just synonyms?
Yes, I think so.
And sometimes you'll hear an average Joe. Just a regular guy. I don't know if we would capitalize Joe when we're talking about an average Joe. If it's a name, you definitely will capitalize it. But when we're just talking about the average Joe, a normal guy, I don't think we would capitalize it. BB Newer. Hello, this American couple. How are you? Yeah, we're doing pretty well. Like I said earlier, we are expecting a snowstorm. I hate snow. I don't mind the first snowfall because it is pretty beautiful. When it clings, when it sticks to the trees, when it clings to the trees, it's beautiful. But when we get to March and we've had snow for 3 months, not so much. Not so much. Uh-oh, Scooby Light. Is he being mean?
Spammer.
Everyday guy. Madi's saying we have a short day today. Yeah, not too bad. Are you talking about the sunlight? Maybe. In the winter, our days are very short. The sun will rise at 7?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Maybe a little after.
And it will start setting at 3:30. Yeah.
The days should be getting a little longer here pretty soon. About December 21st.
Yeah, and we start to get longer, and those watching in Brazil, your days will get shorter, and we can think spring. I don't know if Luke is still here, but Luke shares our hatred. Hatred's strong for winter. Our dislike?
I hate it.
Okay, our hatred for winter. Our hatred for winter.
I hate bundling up. I hate paying for oil. I hate having to wear shoes to slosh around in. I hate how dirty my car gets.
Yeah, maybe I should mention salt and sand on the roads. It does hurt the paint on your car because they put salt down on the road to make it less slippery, but it will affect your paint. And if you don't wash your car often in the winter, it can hurt it. Eduardo is wondering, what is your favorite app on your phone? I've never had this question before. Good question, Eduardo. What do you think? I have one already.
Go ahead.
Okay.
It's a language one.
It is. I use Link, and I'm excuse me. I'm not sponsored by them, but Link. It's Ibrahim is in here. He knows Link because he uses it too for his German. But I love it. It's a language learning app, and it will give me podcasts. I can listen to them. I can read the transcripts sometimes. So reading and listening really helps me with my language learning, and I'm sure it helps you with yours. I bet that's how a lot of you learn English, is through listening to us. And in a little while, I think tomorrow, there will be transcripts on this live stream, exactly what we say. Right now, I don't think there are, but.
My favorite, my podcast app is my favorite. I listen to a lot of crime shows. I love like Dateline, 48 Hours. I just filmed in one last night. If you like crime shows, it's Something Was Wrong. It's amazing. I've already listened to 2 episodes. It's great.
Right, Anastasia, again, a channel member. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. She says her and her husband use Link to learn English. I'm using it right now for Russian, but she's talking about the 60 mini stories they have, and they are amazing. The first mini story in Russian, I have been listening, and he is, it's the same in Italian too, but Michael in Russian, Mihail, I can't say it. I will one day. But he's a cook. He's a cook that has to wake up at 6:30 or 7:30. Siem? Siem is 6 or 7, I think, in Russian. Siem. Adriana is saying it's good that you've added shows. Oh, gosh. Robson is wondering about Groundhogs Day. Yeah, we use that in English. Groundhogs Day. So at the beginning of quarantine, like we're talking March, April, a lot of people in the United States were saying this is Groundhog's Day. Groundhog's Day is when you have the same day over and over. In quarantine, we were often just waking up, watching TV, maybe studying a little Italian, listening to podcasts. We'd go to bed, wake up the next day, eat, do the same thing. And it comes from a movie starring Bill Murray back in the 80s. I love the movie. You don't?
It's all right.
It's pretty good. But he has to live the same day over and over until he can get it right. He's a jerk at the beginning of the movie, a bit nicer at the end.
I do love Will and Grace. I love Friends, Seinfeld. I love all those old shows.
Ibrahim is wondering how many mini stories have I finished on Link. So for Russian, it's 3. And I need to keep listening. For Italian, I'm up to 50. Story number 50. But I've listened to story number 1 probably 20 times. I bet you do the same thing. That's what Steve Kaufman does. He may listen to the first 3, go back, listen to them again. But I've only gotten up to story 50 or 51 in Italian. But they're the same in Italian and Russian. So Michael is a cook, wakes up, goes to work. They use a lot of the most common verbs in that language, which is what I like.
Poor Scooby.
Yeah, maybe don't have to worry about Scooby anymore. He's gone. He's gone. Thank you, Aroni. Thank you for keeping the chat clean. This is a family-friendly channel. I'm not sure what Scooby was doing. He can still watch, or she, but usually the jerks are guys, right? The spammers are usually guys. It's like, I don't know why, but they usually are. So Scooby, welcome. What's that, Nori?
That's the question.
All right, we gotta talk to Nori. Nori has been with the channel a long time. Very supportive. Thank you so much, Nori. Oh God, Nori's swearing though. She's swearing. Should we read that?
It's not bad, Nori.
It's a mild swear. One that I would even say on the channel. Okay, the expression "confound it." Is it for expressing anger? Is it similar to saying damn? Is it old-fashioned? No. I would say to confound it means more like to complicate it. To confound, right? I think? Confound?
Confound. I'm thinking of confined for some reason, but
No.
I've never heard of that expression, confound it.
Oh no? Confound. We have Google here. Yeah, so it means to cause surprise or confusion. Yeah, so if you confound something, it means you make something more difficult than it has to be. I've never heard it used with surprised, or to mix up. It says mix up. So I have heard it. I kind of knew it. Jamie has never heard it. So I would say it's probably pretty rare.
Yeah.
Probably pretty rare. But sometimes you'll hear to confound the situation. It just means to add things that you don't need to and make it complicated. But maybe it's something you should stay away from. Mega from India. Very supportive of the channel. Thank you so much. What do we cook on Christmas Day or Christmas Nori says she can't behave. She's always sassy. No, you're always welcome, Nori. Always welcome. And I did mention Nori in the last video. She has a great accent. She's a native Hungarian speaker. And in the last video, if you haven't seen it, I said you should try to keep your accent. And a lot of people said, you want to be clear, you want to be understood, but, you know, be proud. I know Nori is. Hungarian. It's great. Mega is wondering, cooking on Christmas Eve.
So Christmas Eve night, we usually order Chinese food. Our kids love to do that. Most of the time when we have our family over on Christmas Eve morning, which we won't be doing this time because our daughter will be working. We're gonna do Christmas Eve night socially distancing. I make sausage balls. People bring over like pastries, breakfast pizza we have on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day I make sausage balls too. We usually just have like snacky food and appetizers. It changes year to year. Brownies, usually a lot of sweets. I try to get some salty stuff made. I usually make like this cinnamon roll casserole that's really easy, and it's not any food that's good for you.
We keep saying you need to make the pumpkin pie. We need to do some videos with cooking. Jamie's a good cook. So she made a pumpkin pie that was delicious. And I know I told Angelo, hey, we're going to make that pumpkin pie video. We need to. But Thanksgiving is our big holiday in which we cook. Christmas is more about gift giving and less about food. So there's not as much cooking on Christmas or Christmas Eve.
And I think that might be true for our family, but I know a lot of families in America have like a big ham dinner. In Thanksgiving it's turkey. Christmas they have a big ham dinner. That's what my family used to do when I was younger. It was just like Thanksgiving meal, but it was a ham instead. So I think that's still done here. But a lot of families are moving more toward making it easier. You don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. You want to be with your family. So that's what we try to do as well.
And I know not everyone here eats pork, but everyone I think can eat turkey. So yeah, Thanksgiving is the turkey day, and then like Jamie said, ham is traditional for Christmas. Anastasia, thank you for becoming a channel member, is wondering about New Year's. Do we celebrate New Year's typically?
We really don't. I think I've been in bed before the New Year 2 years in a row now. I used to stay up with my children who like to stay up just because they get to stay. They stayed up, but we don't go out. I think it's too dangerous.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, people drink a lot and then they start driving. My friend has a good expression for it, and I'm trying to, amateurs who don't drink a lot, they choose New Year's Eve to finally like get drunk or get intoxicated, and they don't know what to do with themselves. They're an amateur drunk, and then they drive, and it's just not safe. It's safer to be at home. We usually watch some movies, have some food.
Yeah, that's the big thing that worries me about going out is the drunk driving, around midnight. And one thing too, that if you're going, not this year, but if you're going to go to a restaurant or if you're going to go to a club, they will increase their prices for you to get in. So it can be kind of expensive and really busy. So even if it wasn't, quarantine time, we usually stay in for New Year's.
Yep.
Even when we were young, we didn't go out that much.
I mean, your sister sometimes would have like parties and invite friends over, but we're old. Like, I want to be warm in my house. Know where my kids are.
Shaham. Sherry? Hope I'm saying that correctly. What's the best tradition Christmas time? I think, and we already have them up, and I'm going to put it in the latest video. I think it's on the Facebook page and the Instagram, but putting up the Christmas tree. Jamie loves that part. I love looking at it. I don't like putting up the decorations, but putting up the Christmas tree is a good one.
Yeah.
Stockings are hung out the night before. It's similar, if you're watching from Italy, it's similar to Befana, the Epiphany, I believe, where children will often get sweets in their stockings, and if they're bad, they will get a lump of coal. It's similar here, but we have like Santa Claus will come visit the kids, leave treats in their stockings, hung by the chimney with care. Aroni says that I'm correct. Thank you. Oh gosh, Eduardo, when's the last time you had a hangover? When was that occasion? Yassine, how are you? From Iraqi Kurdistan, welcome. Great place. Hangover, man, it's been
a while.
Long time.
Yeah, we don't drink too much anymore. We should tonight. I've been asking him to make hot toddies.
Well, I know a lot of people watching don't drink, so I don't talk too much about drinking because it's against their religion. I want to be respectful of that. But yeah, we haven't drank in a while. Yeah, long while. But we're getting old. A lot of times we might say, "Hey, you wanna have a beer or a drink?" Just tired. Maybe we need to start earlier or something. Nori's back with the swear words. Back with the swearing.
I use effing all the time, Nori.
She is sassy. Nori. Yeah, you're the expert in the swearing. Would you like to take effing?
I say it I say it when I talk about half-ass. If I tell Ace to clean his room and I'll go in, I'm like, you did an effing half-ass job. I use it all the time.
And that
Just to try not to say the real word. I try to keep it classy, Nori.
It's a substitute for the real word, like the F word, which we, I would never say. I don't say that, but yeah. So would you say that to your students though?
No. I would never swear in front of my students.
Or even like say effing.
No.
Would you wouldn't say that to your mom, really?
No.
No.
You should not.
I wouldn't. Yasin from Iraqi Kurdistan. Welcome. Kurds are great people. Great people. Really helped the U.S. out a lot in their history. So thank you for that. What does it mean to sum it up? To sum it up.
Just means to wrap it up what you're saying. I was actually telling one of my podcast stories last night to my daughter and to Brent. It was a really great podcast about keeping yourself safe and just kind of watching out for each other. It was a new podcast I talked about earlier.
It was a 2-minute story.
It was not
a 2-minute story that dragged out for 10 minutes.
It didn't.
For 15 minutes.
No.
So yeah, when you want to sum something up, and you spelled it correctly, it's S-U-M. It means take everything and just try not to use phrasal verbs. Boil it down.
Keep it short.
So let's say that you were studying a story in English, and maybe it is 3 pages. You might want to boil it down or sum it up into a paragraph or 2. We also use summarize. Summarize. I don't know if I can spell that. I'll do my best here. Oh, first time. But to sum it up is short for summarize. Dumb it down. Ooh, Susanta. She's talking about dumb it down. That's a little different. So if I was talking about something I learned in college, but I want to tell it to a 5-year-old, I might dumb it down, make it a little bit easier for them. So when you're summing it up, it's not always dumbing it down though. If you can keep it at the same level as, of difficulty, that's a good summing it up. But if we're coming to the end of a live stream, if we talked about something, we might just say, okay, and to sum it up, you can find me on Instagram or whatever, like just bringing things to an end is sometimes how we use sum it up. Zoe from Iran is wondering, do you play any interesting games or activities in Christmas, or do you just keep talking with your family? We do have some games that we play. My mom will sometimes come over and we have a game that we play with dice called Yahtzee, where you roll dice. So we usually play that on Christmas morning. Won't be doing that this year.
Our kids like to play some games. I'm the game person in the family. Everybody else doesn't like it here. I don't know why. Boring.
We have played Monopoly sometimes. That's a long game. Boring. I do like it. I do. I mean,
you and Ace like it.
If you're playing with a bunch of 3 or 4 people,
yeah,
it's good. Oh gosh, Luciano is wondering about some phrasal verbs. Oh gosh, what's the difference between to carry off and to pull off? Man, if you pull off something, it means you did it really well. Like it might not have been able to be done easily, but you pulled it off. You did it well. Carry off might be more British.
Yeah.
Carry off.
We don't use that.
Yeah. So if you can pull something off, it means you did it.Maybe you have a tough English test on a Friday. You've been studying really hard. You don't think you'll do well. But when you take the test, you get like 100 or an A. You pulled it off. Nice job. You pulled it off.
I think some members asked some questions.
Right. Elena.
Yep.
Longtime member. Thank you for that yellow disc. What is this? What is this question? Brent and Jamie. Oh, dead certain? A no-brainer? Dead. So.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's short for dead certain. That sounds British too.
Yeah.
Dead certain. But what about a no-brainer?
We use that.
We do.
Yeah. Do you want some chocolate? That's a no-brainer.
No-brainer. Yes, I do. Yes. Yes, I do. Yeah, a no-brainer is when you don't even have to use your brain to think about it. No-brainer. Somebody gives us 2 tickets to Brazil. Free. Will we take it? Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Yes. Let's go to the beach.
Don't have to think about it twice.
Oh gosh. Oh, Eduardo is wondering, Jamie, do you agree with all of Brent's explanations?
No.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I mean, as far as here, like when he's explaining words, pretty much. I mean, sometimes I've had to pop in at the door and be like, that's not what that means. Most of it's usually with slang, but yeah.
Yeah.
He does a really good job explaining things here.
Thank you. Oh gosh, yeah, I was worried about that, Yassine. And we don't want to get into politics too much, but yeah, let's not get into politics too much. But I feel you. That comes from the latest video I did. Yeah, I understand what you're talking about because yeah, let's not get into politics, but because there are some people from other but I understand what you're saying. Oh, Angelo, another channel member. Thank you so much from the Philippines, but also Qatar, is wondering, what does it mean we'll cross that bridge when we get there? So let's talk about our children leaving home and college. And maybe our daughter says to us, hey, we should find a place. I want to go to school in New York City. Maybe we should find a place where I can live. And then we might say, well, that's 3 years away. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So cross that bridge means don't worry about it now. Worry about it in the future when it's going to be more important.
I think my daughter really wants to go to school in New York City. She wants to live there. And I really think places to live in New York City are going to be relatively inexpensive. A lot of people are moving out of New York City due to COVID, so.
Lila is here. Everything with Lila. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. I know people are busy too. People are busy. What does cross your fingers mean? Suzanne's wondering. Cross your fingers.
I actually just said this. Yeah, so our. Can I talk about yesterday?
What is it?
With Ace?
I
No.
wouldn't.
No.
I mean.
So like if you are hoping for good results, like if you're hoping to win the lottery and you buy a lottery ticket, you cross your fingers hoping you bought the right one. It's a slang expression that we use here. Or if you are telling someone, like if I tell Brent, I'm going to finish all the laundry today, but I have my fingers crossed where he can't see them, he can't hold me to that. So. That's
right. Yeah, there are two different ways.
Yeah.
All right. So what you were talking about with our son, it's a good example, and I'll sum it up. I'll do the short version. But yeah, he was possibly exposed to COVID. Maybe not. And he was Jamie was able to get him a rapid test because he had to be somewhere. And they would only allow him to come with a negative test. So Jamie was able to schedule it. We had our fingers crossed that that test would come back negative. And luckily it did. Mm-hmm. So we do that for good luck. But also, I forgot the other reason that you said. When you're telling a lie and you like, I can't promise this, and some like little kids might hide it behind their back. Oh, Frederica. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Riza's here. Frederica, do you have any questions? Put them down. We will answer your questions first. Thank you so much for that super chat. I think it's called. There are super stickers and super chats. So Federica, I remember, you're from Italian, right? You're from Italian. That's good English. You're from Italy, right? I think. Federica? Thank you. Anastasia. Good question right here. Long question. Let's see. Copy and paste. What do you call a teacher that is responsible for a particular class in school? In British English, they say a form teacher, but I don't think this expression is used in the United States, and it's not. We would say classroom teacher, I think.
Core, like or a core teacher. For younger kids, for in grade school, we call that their formative years, where the teachers, you have one teacher that's really forming them, teaching them to read, teaching them the math basics. Those are your formative years when you can really be formed, molded. But we say core teacher. Like he's a core teacher for language arts.
And when we say core, there are 4 core subjects. We say English, math, science, and then social studies, which is really hard to explain in English, but social studies is like history, geography, government, so a core teacher.
I think another member had a question about project or assignment that you used. Yeah, Mega.
Right, Mega. What's the difference between an assignment and a project at school? That's a great question.
An assignment's usually a little bit shorter, where a project can take a lot more time. You put a lot more work in it. A project may be part of a presentation that you do where you're explaining the project. One I think about that you may see in movies or in sitcoms is the volcano. At some point in your life, we've all had to make like this volcano for science class. So you would build your own volcano. That would be part of your project. Or I've had to do like the 9 planets where I had to make a project showing the placement of the 9 planets. Or an assignment might be something where you write a paragraph or you do 20 math problems in a night. Assignment's a little bit shorter, project's a little bit longer.
Good way to put it. And Emmanuel said, beautiful couple. That's very nice. Thank you so much. Susanna's wondering, what does the word ridiculous mean? And sometimes you'll hear redonkulous, which is some slang. But if something is ridiculous, let's see, absurd, outlandish, those are all really big English words. But if something is ridiculous, it means you can't believe it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not even happy about it.
Yeah.
We're getting a foot of snow tonight. That's pretty ridiculous. That's too much snow. Ridiculous.
How much we pay for medication? Ridiculous. Healthcare.
Sometimes if somebody comes into the classroom with like a crazy hat, like it's ridiculous. Why are you wearing that?
Sabrina had a question about how she said something.
Uh-oh. Left a comment above. I don't know, Sabrina. I don't know, but what you said right there, I left a comment above. Could you correct me if there's any mistake, please? You got your comma in the right place for that. So that statement is correct. I'll see. Like in, Madi is wondering, like impossible. Ridiculous can sometimes be impossible, but not always.
No.
So Sabrina, I don't see it. I don't see it, Sabrina.
Can you type it again, Sabrina?
Yeah, check that out. Innocent Pink Sapphire, welcome. You know what? Oh, do I have another Italian session? I don't have another one scheduled, Ibrahim, but I want to. There might be a link in italki link down below. If you are ever thinking about having a session with a tutor, if you use that link after your first class, you will get $10 free, which I did with an Italian teacher I watch. She had an italki link. If you use that link for italki, go to that, make a purchase, you get $10. Oh, Madi says Bob the Canadian is live in 2 minutes.
Aroni, when you get our age, 9 p.m. will sound glorious to you.
Yeah. I'm going to try to find Bob the Canadian's link. So we are going to go over there. Any last minute questions? How should we sum this up?
It was great to see everybody again. I hope everybody's enjoying the holiday season if you celebrate Christmas. And everybody's safe and healthy and well.
I do want to thank everyone who contributed the super chats. They are very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for being a subscriber. It was fun to watch get to 30,000 this week. So
Right. Yeah, that was crazy. Thank you so much. Subscribers, commenters, every comment on the videos, every like. Thank you so much. They really help other people find the channel. Thank you, Angelo. Anja, thank you. I hope I got to everyone's questions. I probably didn't. Oh, Anastasia is wondering if I had difficulty learning how to pronounce the are. Are. Yeah. Yeah. The R in Italian is hard. But my good friend Aroni, you know, I had to get better at the Aroni. Hey, I do have an interview later on with Rod, the Brazilian English teacher. You might want to check that out. Check his channel out. Aroni was helping out, moderating the chat. Thank you so much. He has a YouTube channel as well if you want to learn Italian. All right, we should get out of here because Bob the Canadian's starting. All right. See you guys. Thank you so much. Hope you learned a little something.